I was never planning on having this video as my first one, but because of a few reasons I decided to anyway. For this video I'll be discussing the controversy surrounding these two videos, and I've put links to both of them below if you want to check them out after. Let me get right into it by getting some things straight first. In both videos, Matt Walsh has made some good points. He has the right to be angry and to say whatever he wants, however he wants, because of freedom of speech, as long as what he's saying isn't defamation or anything else that's not protected by the First Amendment. I also know that he has no intention to convince the world, as that is not his primary objective, and that's absolutely fine as well. I have no hate towards Matt, and let's get started. Matt made a point in his follow-up video addressing his criticism, saying that he would do whatever is required to protect his children. I don't doubt that at all. While watching his response video, I was reminded of something Jordan Peterson said.
You should be a monster, an absolute monster, and then you should learn how to control it.
An example of a controlled monster that Peterson gives is Batman. If you're wondering how this relates to Matt, bear with me. For those who may not know, he's a fictional crime-fighting vigilante who has trained his body and mind to be near physical perfection. One reason he's a controlled monster is because he has one rule: he does not kill. A video by High Top Films explains why Batman doesn't kill, or why he shouldn't. Quote, "Batman is not about finding a way to kill evil, but try to redeem it. His mission is an impossible task. Maybe he should kill people. In fact, he probably should kill madmen like the Joker. But what makes him fascinating, what makes him a hero, is the fact that he has a moral code and can stop himself from crossing that line." End quote. I'm sure Matt is capable of being that controlled monster, and absolutely would be if it meant a better world would be created for his children to grow up in. I don't have children, so I don't know exactly what it's like to have that sort of connection with your own child, to care and cherish them over your own life. But based on what I know, I understand. If Matt can control the monster within and use the anger to fuel him instead of having the anger control him, then more power to Matt. Another point he made is this.
The other side is not interested in compromise. They want nothing less than your unconditional surrender. We have to meet them with that same energy, or we will lose or continue losing.
If Matt acts like the left in how they get people on their side, but the difference is that he's just more truthful, okay, but he mustn't go further to where he's acting too much like them. I'll explain that in just a sec. It's important that he stays as a controlled monster, knows what separates good from evil, and remembers not to lose what makes us human. That is our soul, our ability to feel empathy, compassion, love, any emotion. And without that, what does that make us? NPCs? I'm not saying that Matt should never be rude, because it can be very effective in getting a point across. I'm also not saying that Matt must have compassion, empathy, or whatever emotion towards the left. But one thing that the left does to the right that he should not do is dehumanize them. The last time that happened, over 6 million Jews died. If you count Soviet prisoners, Romanian gypsies, etc., it's millions more, with some historians even guessing it was up to 17 million. With the population of America over 330 million, with maybe around 56% being woke, don't create a genocide 19 times worse. We don't need another one happening at the same time.
What does that even mean? Like, why don't you what?
Let's discuss something else Matt said.
You don't convince people by being nice. You don't. At least not on a cultural level. I mean, where did you get this idea? Where did you arrive at this conclusion? That the way to win the culture is by being nice. Is that how the left won the culture? Have you been paying attention at all? They have seized hold of our society, indoctrinating entire generations, and they didn't do it with niceness. They didn't win these flies with honey. They did it by being bold and aggressive and by making their opposition's arguments seem not only wrong, but utterly horrific and insane. That's how they did it.
Can this group of people be convinced with niceness? Is there much point in trying? Well, even on a cultural level, minds can be changed. Whether the change is because of niceness or not, I don't 100% know, but it can still happen. Look at channels like Fairly Ashley or Shannon Michaela, who were once far left liberals, like with the colourful hair and everything, and their minds were changed. How about people in the comments section of channels that talk about these issues in the opposite tone to Matt, that explain how they were able to realize what's going on because of the videos someone created. I would bet that Matt would be able to call someone to help find those comments. Matt said he would rather be dead than have his children in the gender cult. But I've got 2 questions for Matt. Hypothetically, if your children did become trans, how would you try to help them? Would you talk to them in the same manner as how you talk about Dylan Mulvaney, or would it be in a similar way that you criticize others for doing? The thing is, people's minds can change. Yes, it's a slow process, but what do you expect when people are told lies throughout their entire life, starting from the moment they're born? It's hard enough to know what reality is or what the truth is. Because of that, it's challenging to change some people's minds, sometimes even impossible. But it doesn't mean that people willing to spend the time, money, and energy shouldn't try. It's their choice, just like it's Matt's choice to not do that. But really, think about it. What is the main purpose of making these videos, articles, or whatnot? It's not to wake people up. That's second. The main purpose is to create change. That could be done by them going out and making that change themselves. Another way is to garner support by preaching to the choir and using that support to make a change, or by doing both methods. Also, because of other people I've watched, I've been inspired and drew inspiration from them to make my content. In my opinion, as long as people can make an objectively good and legal change, it doesn't matter how it's done. Also, in my opinion, I see these people as lost, confused, misguided, and more importantly, manipulated, like puppets. And who are these puppeteers? The government, the mainstream media, you name it. If the media tells people to believe in something or to support the current thing, they do it blindly. Now, there are 2 ways to stop a puppet from being controlled. Either you stop the puppeteers from puppeteering a puppet, or if we're to say that the puppets are animate, then you would convince the puppets to never be controlled again. What I'm saying is don't blame the puppets 100%. The puppeteers are at fault too. If the puppeteers never puppeteered the puppets in the first place, my guess is that the world would be in a better state.
You are all weirdos!
The main problem isn't that conservatives are too nice, or are not angry enough, which is what Matt and a whole lot of other people said in the comments. It's more so that the puppeteers have been controlling the puppets for too long. As Martin Luther King Jr. said, the best way to solve any problem is to remove its cause. What really needs to be done is a root cause analysis. This website explains what it is in detail. It is a set of analyzing and problem-solving techniques targeted at identifying the actual root cause or the reason that caused the problem. The elimination of the symptoms of the problems is not alone sufficient to address the problem. It has to be addressed at the cause level. If you solve a problem at this root level, it is highly probable that you can prevent its reoccurrence. The right could kill all of the woke, a full-on genocide. But if the puppeteers aren't stopped, they'll just create the number of puppets we have now, decades or centuries later, and everyone will be back at square one. Now, there's possibly one reason why many people might not be as bluntly honest as Matt, an issue that can arise if someone is very effective at spreading the truth. You see, in a world that's corrupt and controlled by evil people, the truth is seen as a threat to the system, or some might call it the Matrix. In the first Matrix movie, when the Matrix sees Neo as a threat, what does it do? It sends agents to kill him, and they do. Kind of. However, in real life, there are 3 stages. First, they'll take everything you have. Social media if you're a content creator, a medical license if you're a doctor, your job. If that doesn't stop you, they'll threaten you with jail or sue the heck out of you regardless of whether you've done something illegal or not. And the third step, if that doesn't stop you, then you would either self-terminate or get into an accident, if you know what I mean. What's debatable is whether we've already seen this with people like Andrew Tate, Alex Jones, Sneako, and even Jordan Peterson, and a lesser viral one like Dr. Joseph McCullough. Basically, if someone is not prepared or willing to lose everything, even their own life, then they will be careful of what they say.
What did it cost?
Everything.
Look, I'm only 22, and I'd like to have a long life, travel the world, meet new people, have a family, and all of that stuff. But I can't do that if I'm 6 feet under. Personally, I would rather restrict what I say a little bit so that I can continue making content for years to come, instead of having no restrictions and risk putting myself or my family in grave danger. That doesn't mean I will bend a knee or bow before my haters. No. I will be honest, but not bluntly honest. I'm not going to be able to wake everyone up. I would be stupid if I believed that. But I will still try to help as many people as possible. Maybe I'm too optimistic and have a lot of hope. But at the end of the day, whatever I do, it's my time, my money, my energy, and my choice.